Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the lands of Aecathan. No professionals, no fancy tech, just a group of women playing an all-original game of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Jeff, the Game Master. So it turns out The Lion Sleeps Tonight is actually a draconic anthem, representing the idea that they're always close by because they are only a wing away. A wing away.
I don't know if that's bad or awful.
Or both.
Or both.
Sure.
Bit of both.
Little column A, little column B. It'll be okay, though.
I hope so. Let me bring you up to speed on what happened last week. Last week was fairly eventful.
It was.
Last week's episode began with Zorth awakening to find that her wings had finally emerged.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And she did a bit of crowdsourcing with the rest of the four and Girta on how to control them. And actually managed to figure out at least how to extend them and retract them at will. Gwenlaren had an interesting dream conversation with one mad gnome known as Sekuthos about Athgar, mostly. But he offered her some interesting advice. Arabelle and Tasha headed off to Strafsman's End to inform Lady Lena about Aecathan's official response to the change in leadership and the change from Strafsman's End to Strafsman's Dawn. And while they were there, Arabelle took a moment to discuss with her the rumor that she heard from Viessa about Lena employing a doppelganger. Lena was quick to explain that someone in her employ has been given that nickname by the less than stellar citizens remaining from the Strafsman's End days. Tasha got to spend some time getting to know her half-siblings. And while she was doing that, after Arabelle finished meeting with Lena, she actually was assigned a guard and taken to what will be the site of the new Temple of Terrora. Along the way, however, she kind of got spotted. She kind of got noticed, and a crowd sort of coalesced around her from people wanting to see if it was true that there was a Terroran in Strafsman's. And once finding out that there was, people came asking for help. She dispensed an enormous amount of healing over the 2 days that they were there, plus restored an old woman's hearing and restored an old man's vision, who, upon seeing her, immediately asked how she felt about grandchildren, looking to marry off his son. So then that concluded, along with Zorth going back to the Tower of Azanor to learn the new Noctomancy spells from Master Obrez. That concluded the week run-up to the Dragon Festival, and we actually got to the festival, at least the first part of it, the part that took place in Aermagh. It was an interesting day, lots of speeches, performance by Tasha, and then an aerial battle in the clouds that no one realized was actually a battle until the Red Dragon corpse came plummeting out of the sky, and Remedy, the Bronze Sept leader, winging down to land on it. Remedy informed everyone of what was going on, the fact that the Metallic Dragons of all 5 septs have given their pledge to help turn back the Chromatics and to become an active part of the security of Aecathan from this point forward. But she also announced that the 4, having rescued the Metallic Dragons, was considered a 6th sept by the Metallic Dragons of Aecathan. And the 4 were informed afterwards, of course, you'll have to pick a medal so that we know how to address you. But Tasha's family came to see the festival, and they were able to witness everything. Tasha's little half-sister Slessa was particularly enamored with the dragon. Then the festivities were ended. Remedy winged off back into the sky, and the 4 began preparing to head to Thunder's Edge for their version of the main festivities for the Dragon Festival, when Aralahkis contacted them and showed up to deliver to Zorith the runic coordinates for their very own private teleportation circle attached to the Fourhome in Thunder's Edge. He then asked if he could sort of catch a lift with them, and Zorith cast teleportation circle to their new private address for the first time, and the episode ended with them successfully appearing in their teleportation chamber in Thunder's Edge. And that is where we pick up tonight. So you are standing in a room. It smells of new wood, having been built only recently to house this circle. And you see that in the far corner there is a staircase that goes up halfway up one wall, and then the second half up on the corner wall to a landing outside a door on the second floor as well. So there are 2 doors leading out of this chamber, one on the second floor and one on the first floor, right above. And
I feel like this is going to be a bad idea. Oh man, the trips we can take. I mean, me.
And so you appear. Aralahkis says, "Huh, what do you know, it worked. That's always good. Hate to think we wasted 3 months doing this every day. Alright, I assume out is that way."
You know as well as we do.
I've never been here before.
Neither have we. That's my point.
Well, I'm gonna go find out, because I have to get back. Tremane will try to skin me alive if I'm not there when he talks.
Okay.
Drop our things off and head there too.
Yep.
Alright. As you walk out, you basically walk into your living room. And as you head for the door out, you notice that on the the doorknob to the door to the basement, there are garlands of flowers hanging on the doorknob.
Should we
look at them?
Yeah.
Let's see. This would be probably Gwenlaren's bailiwick.
Sure.
If you would make a nature check for me.
Oh, that is a good roll.
Good.
So that would be a 26.
Wow.
Very good roll.
With a 26, you can see these have been being placed there, it looks like over a period of maybe 5 days, because a couple of the strands are very fresh, a couple of them are noticeably less fresh, and the ones probably closest to the door itself, they've been there the longest, they're visibly wilting. But it looks like someone has been hanging these periodically over the last 5 days.
Would I know of any Thunder's Edge tradition that would suggest that hanging flower garlands on the doorknob is something? Is there a ritual?
Make a history check.
That was not as good a roll. 12.
Nothing springs to mind.
Okay.
If there is one, it's obscure enough that nobody's told you about it.
So I tell the others what I do know. That some of the flowers are fresh. It looks like maybe someone's been putting it here for maybe as many as 5 days.
Zach? For the dragons?
Maybe?
Possibly. I did talk to Zek and tell them that there were going to be a dragon sighting, potentially, and the festival.
He wants to come with us. I wonder if he's here.
That would be amazing.
Might already be at the festival.
He could be. How much time do we have? Has it already started? I mean, like, the general festivities have started, but the speaking has not.
You have no idea.
Well,
You're in your
assume-
house.
Well, considering Aralahkis isn't there yet.
Tasha, what time is it?
Local time, it's a little after 6.
Oh, it's time to get going. I'll go downstairs and see if Zek is here.
Okay.
So I go downstairs. Tap, tap, tap.
No response.
Well, I open the door.
Doesn't seem to be in there.
Oh, okay. I go back upstairs. He's not here.
Well, hopefully he's at the festival then,
Yeah.
looking for dragons. As should we.
Well, let's go.
Sounds good to me.
Do we see a camp when we open the door?
You open your main door and you see a small ocean of tents and wagons.
Cool.
Yay.
And as you walk out and kind of look around, they're basically all around your house.
Very good.
You do see a few people that seem to be working in the central area. From your experience with the Sasaran, you imagine probably working on what will be the evening meal for everyone. But for the most part, the camp looks deserted.
They must be at the festival too.
Head for the party.
All right. So you remember Oloric telling you that the festival was actually being held on the grounds of the keep in the Inner Enclave, that Tremane had actually opened the Inner Enclave to the entire city for this.
Right. I do tell everybody that.
Well, that's progress. Not making them have their own.
Yeah. Contrasted against Aermagh, it's a gorgeous night in Thunder's Edge. It's clear skies. It's warm, but not hot. There's a light breeze coming off the desert.
So we should adjust our clothing appropriately.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe
well, I
ditch
said
some
we dropped-
layers.
Yeah, before we walk out, run back in the house and change out of some clothes. And
Maybe still keep the cloaks because they're a symbol of the dragons.
right.
And you do know from past experience that once the sun goes fully down, it does tend to get cool.
Right.
You change your clothes, get yourself set, and head off to the keep.
So excited.
Mhm.
There are an enormous number of people also doing the same thing.
Just sort of blend in.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do we blend in or do people actually like pay attention to us?
The Thunder's Edge folks don't seem to take much notice. The Sasaran, who are making their way in at this point, see you and just smile and wave and say hello. They don't make a big deal out of it, but they clearly know who you are, and these are not members of the tribe that you've actually interacted with before, but they know you.
Oh.
Brilliant. Question, has our likeness ever been produced in visual? Have we ever seen ourselves on a poster or anything like that? Or has our likeness?
You've never seen it. You don't know
If
it
it
has or
exists.
not, but you've never seen it.
Okay, just checking.
As you make your way in, you get near the keep and you see this crowd makes the crowd in Aermagh look small.
Ooh.
Because it seems to be most everybody from the outer enclave, a good chunk of everybody from the inner enclave, and all the Sasaran.
For some of the outer enclave residents, this might be the first time they've ever really, right, been in.
It's possible, yes.
Or it's a rare occasion anyways.
Yep. You see vendors walking through the crowd, and they're calling out. They apparently are selling dragon treats, and there are
Not
drink
made from
vendors.
dragon.
There are drink vendors hawking dragon's breath. That are
We'll have to get some of those.
wooden goblets with mist coming off the top of them.
Oh, fun! I get enough for everybody.
Okay.
And I ask Arabelle if she would like one first.
Maybe after the speeches.
Should I not get them now? No. Sorry. Okay.
No, I mean you can. I will wait.
I pass them out to everybody else.
They are very tasty. A mix of alcohols and syrups that you can't fully identify. Tasha, make an intelligence check.
Like, oh no, that's the saving throw.
Yeah, just a straight intelligence check. D20 plus your intelligence mod.
Okay. 20. Dirty 20.
As you sort of roll this liquid around in your mouth, trying to sort out all the tastes, you realize there's a lot of alcohol in this.
This is strong. It's a good thing that Arabelle didn't have any.
I'm going to, after the first sip, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hold off for right now.
I continue to sip back.
You get a look at the dragon cookies that the merchants are selling. They are works of art. There are cookies shaped like heads, dragon heads. There are cookies shaped like pairs of dragon wings, and then there are cookies that are full dragons. And it looks like they've all been painted with frosting.
Wow.
Someone
I will buy one of each for everyone, regardless.
With some obvious talent has decorated these.
Those are beautiful. I almost don't want to eat one.
Almost.
I start munching on one of them, whichever one.
The cookies themselves seem to have been made from some sort of light sweet orange dough.
Orange in color or flavor?
Flavor.
Cool.
Yum.
Yep.
I love it.
As you approach the keep, you see that, much like in Aermagh, an outdoor stage has been built. And as you get within easy eyeshot, you begin to hear a voice reading haltingly something that you don't recognize. As you get closer, you realize the voice sounds familiar. You look up at the stage and you see that it's Sten, reading from a book that appears to be talking about how the balance was maintained between the chromatic and metallic and gemstone dragons prior to the shattering.
Gemstone.
Gemstone.
3 different types.
And
One was neutral, I bet.
the story goes on to explain how the various races in the various settlements and cities around old Aecathan worked hand in hand with the metallic and gemstone dragons, both in terms of knowledge and education, but also in terms of mutual defense of the land. Somewhat similar to some of the things that Remedy was talking about in Aermagh. But you get the sense that whatever language this book is written in, it's not common. Because Sten is periodically halting and stumbling over a word here or there. So she appears to be translating as she's reading. How close to the stage do you want to get? Like, where do you want to put yourselves in the crowd?
Kind of close.
Yeah.
I mean, as you look out, yeah, close to the side, like, I don't know. Close enough that you can probably see us.
Well, and close enough that if and when Gaygo gets there, we'll be able to get to her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How big is the stage? Is it big enough for her?
Yes, it is, actually.
Okay, good, because we kind of, yeah. Okay, good.
Yes, it's much larger than the one in Aermagh.
Got it.
This one appears to have been built with the hopes of being large enough for a dragon should one choose to appear. Sten finishes the book, closes it. There's smattering of applause. And Aralahkis kind of pats her on the back as he passes her walking toward the front of the stage. And he simply announces that everyone should pay attention because Lord Tremane would like to address everyone. He walks up. He looks healthy, and he's clearly trying to present, strong, robust leader, but to your eyes, he looks tired. But he gets up, begins to speak again. His voice is magically amplified so that everyone can hear. He begins by talking about the day the country changed. The day that the Metallic Dragons were brought back into Aecathan. And he tells briefly the story about the Four finding and awakening the dragons. He doesn't seem to know you're there. He also, much like Lord Bonthane did in Aermagh, reveals that he has in fact met with the speaker of the dragons, the leader of the 5 septs. Clearly he does not know there's a 6th yet. And how he has also begun a friendly relationship with the leader of the local sept, she who is known as the Sentinel of the Sands. At which point there's a little bit of, it seems like there are a few people that actually means something to. He then speaks about his desire to renew formal relations with all of the septs, especially the one based in this area, and his intention to offer them whatever alliance he and the collected citizens and Rykeliad and clans members of Thunder's Edge can provide. He ends with a declaration stating that from this point forward, all members of the Metallic Septs are hereby considered honorary citizens of Thunder's Edge. and that he expects any and all inhabitants who are currently part of Thunder's Edge to likewise respect them and treat any metallic dragon they may encounter from this point forward with the respect they would give him. At this point, Aralahkis walks up and Tremane leans down and you see his eyebrows go up. And then he stands up and says, I have it on good authority that we have the members of the Four with us here today, including Tasha Greenvale, the author of the song that you all have been hearing over the last few weeks. Tasha, we would be honored if you would come to the stage and give us a performance of the song officially for the festival. And
I go up.
the crowd starts clapping immediately. And the applause gets louder when people start to see that you're there and you're headed for the stage.
I climb up
Okay.
and go standing in front by Tremane. Nod to Tremane.
He nods
And-
back,
And
and he steps back so that you have the stage.
I say, this is a song that you all know, and it's all true. And then
And there's some cheers and some whistles when you say that.
I perform.
Okay. Make a performance check with advantage. Yeah, this is your song. Nobody's better at it than you are.
$27.
A truly masterful performance, made even more noticeable by the fact that as you begin the last chorus, a hushed murmur goes up and people start, their heads go up, and you can sort of infer, the rest of you see that Gaygo is winging around the keep as she finishes this song. And as you strum the final chord, she backwings gracefully down to the stage behind you and just folds her wings.
Oh, so cool.
How dark is it, Jeff? Is it still light or is it starting to...
It's about like your backdrop
Okay.
at this point.
We hoot and holler and cheer.
Yep.
With everybody else.
Well, you're the ones who start it because everybody else is still kind of like, holy shit. But you start clapping and people kind of, snap out of it and start clapping, and then there's just an enormous roar of applause and cheers as Gaygo just kind of almost regally just kind of looks around the audience. And she brings her head down and basically just a little caress on Tasha's cheek.
Aw.
And this gets another roar from the crowd and more applause. When that...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What's Gaygo's full name?
Gaeghointulth.
I say, I would like you all to meet my friend, Gaeghointulth.
There's another roar of applause and lots of cheers, and Gaygo just kind of nods her head, and as the applause dies down, she says, "Good evening, Thunder's Edge. I am Gaeghointulth, the Sentinel of the Sands. And it is my pleasure to be with you here this evening. Before I continue, I would also like to acknowledge some guests in the audience. First, of course, Tasha, but also Lady Erebel of Aermagh, Lady Zorith of the Tower of Azanor, and Lady Gwenlaren, one of your own here from Thunder's Edge. They are the four. They are why I am able to be here with you this evening. Normal speech fails when I try to express my gratitude on behalf of myself, my sept, and my kin. Without their aid, none of this would have been possible. And for that reason, I am pleased to acknowledge them as dragon kin. We, the Metallic Septs, consider them to be family. You are all very fortunate to have adventurers of this level of ability working in your world during your lifetimes. Make certain that when you see them, they feel your appreciation too. But I would also like to acknowledge members of a different kind of kin who are with us today. You know them as the wandering tribe who call themselves the Sasaran. And you see, lots of people in the crowd are kind of like looking around like, oh yeah, they're here. The leader of our collected septs spent a century guiding the Sasaran, who, in the old tongue, long forgotten since the Shattering, Sasaran translates to children of the dragon. And there's a and as you look around, you see that some of the Sasaran are openly crying right now. They, I suppose the nearest equivalent to the two-legged races of the world would be half-siblings of a sort. But they are nonetheless our family. And as such, they too should be treated with the respect they're due. Gaygo pauses for a moment, looks around, takes a breath, and a fireball explodes on her head.
Oh no. We look up to the skies. There's somebody there.
She rears back in pain, obviously. And everybody immediately is like, what is going on? And some people start screaming. The four of you need to roll perception.
Have to jump on the stage.
Yeah, we're close. Perception.
23.
27.
24.
17.
You all are looking around, and you notice that a group of individuals who have been hooded on the edge of the crowd throw back their hoods and go just full run toward Gaygo, screaming about how the Metallic Dragons must be destroyed utterly according to the will of Xuthos.
Oh, Jogravanans. We jump up on stage.
As you begin to move, your peripheral vision catches some odd movement in the crowd as about a dozen people suddenly seem to rise and morph into metallic dragons.
Oh.
And
Really?
as a one, they all breathe.
Oof.
Fire,
Hi,
lightning,
Jogravanans.
acid, and cold
Oof.
hit this group simultaneously.
Oh, bye, Jogravanans.
And there's an enormous cloud of dust and energy, and you can't quite tell if the screams are coming from there or in the crowd or both. There's just an enormous amount of commotion.
Are they dead?
When everything settles down, you see a very interesting sight. There are 6 skeletons
Ooh.
locked in motion. It looks like their frost is misting off these forms, but the skeletons are a deep emerald green.
Ooh, that's interesting. Why?
Maybe they cross the streams.
Something about the combination of energies.
Okay.
But at this point,
Do we get to Gaygo?
yes.
No.
And-
I was already there.
Right.
Is she injured?
She is, but she still raises up clear burns on her face and neck.
Ooh.
But she says, "Be calm. Be calm. At least for now, the threat is ended, and you see that there are 12 other metallic dragons now sort of hovering in the air above her.
I reach my hand out and touch her.
Okay.
And I'll do lay on hands.
Okay. And the burns slowly just evaporate until there is unblemished skin and scale once more.
Was she badly hurt?
No. No. She says, "The gods of evil have ever been and will ever be enemies of the Sept Metallic. Know that we will always rally to your side if they choose to try to attack again. As you see, they will never know if we are here or not, but I assure you, we will be watching. Know that just like in the days of old, before the shattering, the Sentinel of the Sands stands guard to watch over Thunder's Edge. And should there be a need, your leader and your champions," and she's just kind of looks down at the four of you, "know how to contact me. If I am needed, they will call. I will come." We have returned. We will not allow ourselves to be held captive again. We are here. We will stay. We will help. At this point, the crowd is totally like applause, cheering, whistles. It goes on for quite some time, during which she leans down and puts her head near the four of you and says very softly, "If you would assist, this part will go a bit easier. If you would have them come up one at a time."
Oh. The children.
Yes.
Yes.
Gaygo wishes any children who are brave enough to come up one at a time, and they may touch Gaygo so that you can understand how real she is.
And so
And
that
that-
you may feel the strength of my scales, and know that they will be used to protect you and your families. And out of the side of her mouth, Tasha, she whispers, "Thank you." And again, just like in Aermagh, there's a lot of jostling and a lot of "you go," "no, you go." But eventually, a young woman who, Gwen, you recognize as someone from the Lion Clan. Steps forwards, kind of squares her shoulders and takes a deep breath, walks up on the stage. And
I'll take her elbow and walk up with her so that she's not going alone.
Okay.
Someone she knows will accompany her.
She kind of looks up at you and you kind of gives you a look of thanks. But she's trying very hard to maintain to be that good, brave Lion Clan warrior.
So I just give her a solemn nod, warrior to warrior.
And she goes up and stands directly in front of Gaygo's head, who is now, she's lowered herself down kind of on her forepaws, and this young woman walks up, stares at her for a moment, and then executes a perfect formal bow. Gaygo and then says, "Come forward, child. Your bravery is noted." And she goes up and tentatively reaches a hand up and just kind of very sort of like, like she's expecting it to be hot or something, like, and then kind of slowly settles in and is just kind of like, somebody from the crowd yells out, "What's it feel like?" She turns and says, "It's smooth and hard and cool. It's like a shield." And then a few people start to clap, and she pretty much gets a round of applause for being brave enough to do it. And then at that point, just like in Aermagh, the dam breaks and people start lining up to go up on the stairs. Obviously, this takes longer, but you see that there are children clearly from Outer Enclave families, noble children, clan children, and Sasaran children that are all in line and all chatting to each other in line.
I'm going to stand up and make sure that people are orderly, be there with Gaygo kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Take turns escorting them up, staying with her with child, and then
Yeah.
that way the next one can get in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you notice that Sten has apparently gone probably back to work. You do see Tremane off to one side in conference with Aralahkis, and then he heads back to the keep. Aralahkis just stays where he is and just kind of watching the whole thing. So it takes probably a good hour to get through all the kids that want to go up there, because the crowd is enormous, but everybody in the crowd is very well behaved, whether it's the fact that, they've just seen evidence of the massive destructive capabilities of all these dragons, or they're just on their best behavior. Nobody quite knows, but as the kids have their turn and come back, they and whoever they came with break off and go elsewhere, so the crowd slowly dissipates until there's only a couple people left, and you see one of them is Urmon, and one of them is a woman from the Sasaran that you've seen. You've not really interacted with her, but you've seen. And it looks like she's got a kid on her shoulders. But as they walk up, it's not a kid on her shoulders, it's Zach.
Ah!
Yay!
Zach!
Zach, did you like the showing? Zach? Come meet Gaygo.
Zach, meet great one.
Yes.
Gaygo, this is our very good friend, Zach.
He's part of our family.
It is a pleasure to meet you, little one.
I can't remember who he met the first time when they told him to. Yeah,
it might have been Remedy, yeah.
Yeah, remitting. Sorry.
And the woman gently lifts him up and sort of like, sits him down on the ground, and he just kind of walks up. If you've ever thought to yourself that there's no possible way a kobold could look humble, you've just learned that's not true.
He's not an ordinary kobold either.
And he just walks up and kind of just lowers himself to the ground, like on his knees, head on the ground, in front of Gaygo. And she says, "Oh, please, that's not necessary. Please, Zach, friend of the Four, friend of the Sasaran, stand." And he, like, hastily scrambles to his feet, like, "Oh, crap. Okay." And she just says, "And what is it that you do, little one?"
Zach, make potions.
Really? At this point, Urmon steps up and says, "It's quite true. His potions have become very popular. Especially the ones that allow us to commence festivities for longer than we would normally."
Yeah. Not get tired.
Yes, that. It's become very popular.
He has minor healing potions as well.
You sound like a very valuable member of two families, perhaps. Oh, yes. I would say so. He is appreciated by the adults, and he has been adopted by the children.
That's awesome.
And he's just kind of standing there staring at her. And she just kind of smiles and chuffs out a breath, and you see it kind of blow past him, and he's just like...
How cute. And that's it. That's here. Everybody else is kind of left.
Well, since we're done, I assume that there will be no issue with me taking on a somewhat smaller form. And you see
not
her
at all.
kind of rear back, sit up, and then slowly melt down into her elven form.
I believe we'll be heading back to our home, Gaygo. You're welcome to join us for the festivities with the Susaran.
I would enjoy that. Zach, will you show me the way? And she holds her hand out, and he's just like... He just kind of reaches up and very gently takes her hand and begins to sort of walk and lead her back toward the Fourhome. And Urmon's just kind of leaning on the stage. I can't think of a better bonus. He's been very helpful.
He is. He is very helpful.
It's very. I've never encountered one of his kind who was so civilized.
We're lucky to have him as our friend.
Indeed you are. I'm grateful to be able to count him as one of mine now.
He came with the house.
He literally did.
Remarkable. That's the last thing I expected to hear. Well, and I do have to say, thank you so much for putting us in the care of Master Oloric.
Oh, yes.
He's been very helpful smoothing the way for us to camp, to shop, to be. And this is probably the warmest welcome we've ever received in a city.
Well, hopefully there'll be a lot more of that in the near future.
Now that everyone knows that you are the children of the dragon.
Yes, that's, I think, going to be problematic.
Maybe.
Well, now they're going to expect us to behave.
Well, yes.
That's no fun.
Well.
You just don't have. You just need to not get caught misbehaving.
Well, that's easy. I'm never caught.
Well, you know. All of us are learning new ways. And getting more responsibilities and more credibility.
I suppose. Mother did say I would have to grow up eventually.
She was right, as usual.
This wasn't how I saw it happening, though. That's definitely, yes, definitely different from how I pictured it, but...
Well, I don't think any of us expected any of this to happen.
So true.
Indeed.
Urmon,
Yes.
a good friend of ours from Aermagh will be coming in the morning to join us all for breakfast.
Really?
Yes. I just wanted to give you time to prepare.
Someone I know, then.
Your brother? We know him as Jojo.
Giorgione. You know Giorgione.
He's how
Sadly, we
we
met him
found
before we
you.
met you.
Where is he? How is he?
He's very good. He's in Aermagh. And he'll be here in the morning.
Does Mother Tassa know?
She's seen him.
And she didn't injure him at all?
Nope.
And the surprises just keep on coming.
Figured probably not one that you needed live, though.
Well, if they have mended fences, so to speak, it will be good to see him. I thought I would go the rest of my life without seeing him again.
Maybe you can mend fences as well then.
I'm hoping that we don't need to. We parted on as good a terms as we could given the situation. But, well, maybe we'll have to do something a little bit more special for breakfast. I'll have to find those bakers.
Oh,
We can help with that.
we can.
Oh, you know them too? Of course you do. Why am I even asking?
You
We
and
know
Sarah,
Ella.
very good friends.
And Oloric tells me that there's a niece who is also quite an expert in a kitchen.
Look to Zori.
Yes, she is, and I explain and I pointed out whether I can find it. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I've only been there once, but
Right.
assumably I can show them where it is. I don't know if Tremane is going to keep the division open or if this was a one-time thing, but there is a senior enclave. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like there's lots of stories. Lots to get caught up on. And as Tasha, I'm sure, knows, telling stories is thirsty work, so
I
Let's-
am so thirsty.
let's go to where the libations flow quite freely, and we'll tell stories until the sun comes up.
Sounds lovely.
He extends an arm to Gwenlaren and extends the other arm to Arabelle.
Take his arm.
He pauses and then does the same.
And he says, "Come, friends. The hospitality of the Cisaran awaits."
And we follow, definitely.
Well, you make your
Um,
way back.
Aralahkis go in the keep earlier.
No,
Oh,
no. He's still there. When you head out, you see him start to travel the same direction.
Aralahkis, are you coming to the party?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm going to, I'm going to go to Oloric's. I'm going to go to the inn first.
Okay.
And I tell everybody I'll catch up with them.
Okay. You make your way through the crowd. You all are getting significantly more attention as you travel the streets. Mostly just people wanting to say hi, wanting to say thank you. You get to the Ivory's Wrath. There's a sign on the door that says closed for the festival.
Oh, good. Then I head back to the. I head back to the house. Yay! That's good. So I head back with everybody else.
Okay. Well, you get there and they are just beginning to serve dinner. And you see that there are tables set up here and there. There are there is a head table as usual, but you see that there's another table very, very close by the head table. Like, it looks like they're set up as a pair. And as you approach, you see lots of people you recognize sitting at that table. Oloric is there, Wiggy and Jerry Ann are there, Hugh and Sar and Cara are there.
Lovely.
And just about the time that you spot them, you see Oloric stand up and immediately walk over to meet you, Zorath. And he just sort of takes your hands and smiles.
I hug him.
Oh, I'm very happy you could be here.
It's so exciting.
A bit more exciting than we planned, but...
You did amazing.
The dragon's breath did seem to be appreciated.
Oh, your design.
Yes.
It was delicious, and I have like a little left in my cup.
It's still misting.
Ooh! And I drink what's left, and I didn't want to drink it all before the ceremony.
Wise. It turned out to be a bit more potent than I had originally anticipated, but that particular combination was required to generate the dragon's mist.
It's excellent. And later, not here in front of everybody, but I wanted to show you my wings. My wings came in. My wings came in. I don't know if I'll be able to figure it out today, so I don't rip my clothes, but at some point, I will show you my wings.
I would be honored.
It's cool. They're cool. They're cool. I've ripped one outfit, but I think I might actually be able to get the hang of it, and also tailoring is going to be required. And I just like laugh.
Well, I will look forward to that. But come, let us sit. They're about to serve the meal.
Arabelle goes inside for a minute.
Okay.
And come back out not in all of the quite so formal stuff and no armor.
Okay. You see that at the head table, Urmon is there, and you also see Gaygo and Mother Tassa have joined him there as well.
I wondered if she might show up.
Man,
She's
party.
Gaygo is actually sitting at the table talking with Urmon. Mother Tassa is, there's a line of people waiting to hug her and greet her and talk to her. So
we get ready to sit down and have the meal with them.
all right. You find out over the course of the meal, Zorth, I'm assuming you're sitting at the table with Oloric.
Yeah, I'll sit there.
The rest of you are sitting at the table with Urmon and the dragons. But Zorth, you find out as you're sitting there that the cookies came, of course, from Hugh and Sar.
Of course.
Of course.
The decoration was done by Cara.
Ah,
That makes sense.
it's so good.
At one point, Hugh kind of looks over and says, I have entertained thoughts about trying to steal her away from her own business, but then I thought that wouldn't be very sporting. And she kind of looks at him and says, Uncle, you know I'll help whenever I can.
That's funny.
I know, dear, I know.
Excellent.
But
They're really good.
eventually, Mother Tassa does get to come and sit. And she says,
When she comes over and sits at the group, I'm going to make my leave of the table and go sit at the main table.
all right.
Even if I have to like kneel in the front part or grab a chair and
Oh, no, there's
squeeze
room.
in somewhere. Okay.
There's room. She just kind of smiles when you join. So, tell me, did Remedy reveal our decision regarding another sept?
We did. We're very honored.
It seems only fitting. Have you perhaps thought of a metal to represent your sept?
We did.
That I forgot.
And?
Mithril.
Oh, that's right.
She smiles big. That seems entirely appropriate.
Mm.
So let it be known that the Metallic Dragons of Aecathan have admitted the Mithril Sept to the collective.
Thank you so much.
We are in your debt, all of you. We would not be here. Well, I would be here. But the rest of them would not be here without your help. Without your bravery and your insistence on following an old story. You and your rescue will be a story we tell our children.
It's exciting.
It's wonderful.
Are you staying the night, Mother Tassa?
Yes, I'm actually planning on staying for a few days.
Wonderful.
I have spent too long apart from this arm of my family. And
Is
while I
it
will...
just us and her and Urmon and Gaygo? Are there others at the table?
No. No, it's Urmon, the 2 dragons, and you 4. As you look around, you do see that there is a table a little ways off that is all kids and Zach. And you notice that Zach is wearing a flower garland around his neck.
Kids have been making them for him. Are you all taking Zach on the road with you?
If I could convince him to come with us, I absolutely would.
I think he does like the living conditions of the basement. He's got his mushrooms there. He's not really bothered because we're never home.
Yes, he actually told me that the energy potions that he makes, he was able to do so because you provided him with a different variety of mushroom.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it was a good combo.
Well, I would agree.
Well, us and Zach also. I mean, we're very lucky he didn't leave or take offense to us or leave. So
We'll have to get us coming more now that we have the circle then.
yes.
And what circle is this?
Lord Tremane gifted us with our own teleportation circle. It was just finished this week.
It must be nice to have powerful friends. Wow.
It is.
Kind of a big deal. You can call on us to help you if you need. Not that, I mean, by proxy of us being like, hey, yeah, they're awesome. I mean, Gaygo pretty much made it so that you may not ever need for us to come help do anything. So,
Well, here, yes.
true. But you can call on us whenever you need.
Whether the story spreads remains to be seen, but at least we know we'll be welcomed here, and that's different, but in a good way.
To be fair, I plan to write a song about it.
Really?
Why wouldn't I? It's a great story.
Children of the Dragon. Very catchy.
Mm-hmm. I can almost hear the chorus.
Well.
You'll be infamous.
Oh, dear, I'm already infamous.
Well, that's true.
Perhaps to a wider audience.
I'm sufficiently infamous to a wide enough audience, I think.
That's what we thought.
Right.
Fair. I did want to ask, Gwen, where's your protector?
I have no protector. I need no protector.
Well, you had one, whether you needed one or not. The puppy.
Don't know what you mean.
The puppy.
Oh. The puppy has run away. Run away from home.
Oh dear. Slipped his leash, did he?
Oh, no leash required. Yeah. I wasn't his keeper. That's for sure.
No, he thought himself yours. That was clear enough.
Oh. No, I don't think so.
He just kind of looks at Mother Tassa, and Mother Tassa looks at him and says,
They are never so blind as they who will not see.
Oh, really? Like I haven't heard that my entire life.
Yes, but this time it's not about you.
Oh. Well, that's true.
I don't know when or if I'll see him again. He's decided to pursue a different path, and that's okay.
Oh. Well, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll find his bliss.
One can only hope.
I'm hoping he'll grow up a little bit and learn some things.
Well, that's pretty much inevitable.
Well, it wasn't inevitable until he managed to escape.
No, it would have been inevitable regardless. You don't quite understand, I think, the impact that the four of you make wherever you go. It's a little bit difficult to not play your own personal game at a higher level when faced with examples like you. Were I not fully formed and very secure, I might find you intimidating.
I can't imagine you finding anyone intimidating.
Oh, there was a time. I think I was 8.
Such gumption.
We'll wait for you to run off and we'll get Mother Tassa to tell us all the stories.
Feel free. If there's anyone who knows about my capricious youth, that would be Mother.
Sure, you gave her quite a few gray hairs.
I don't understand all the use of past tense verbs here.
He is no longer my responsibility.
Yes, he's a grown-up. Sorta.
No, I'm fully responsible for myself now. In fact, I'm responsible for all of these people.
Ooh,
Which
sorry
is
about that.
Their family.
And you thought you hadn't grown up.
Oh, no, I never said I didn't. I just found a way to continue to enjoy life while also being a grown-up.
That is a trick, isn't it?
Balance.
So I'm told. I didn't have any problem with it.
Mother Tassa, Jojo will be here tomorrow morning for breakfast, if that's okay.
And at this point, Urmon spins to her and goes, "You did not tell me that you had found Giorgione, that you had spoken to... How could you not?" And she says, "Calm yourself. It is relatively recent, and I was planning on telling you. It seems you have already discovered that yes, your brother is alive and well and successful. He has a woman that he loves. She is not the best person."
No, she's not.
We just laugh.
And he says, "Giorgione's taken up with a woman who's not the best person." What does that mean?
She's the leader of the Thieves Guild in Aermagh. She's coming too.
Oh, excellent. Wait. You mean the woman that Jerry Ann works for, that Wiggy used to work for?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Did we know Jerry Ann worked for her now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because she took over because
Wiggy. Okay.
Wiggy said he
Sure,
couldn't
that's
anymore.
Yes.
Well, the infamous Viessa Vax.
I only make a half sneer this time.
Well done, Jojoni. Is she beautiful?
Yes.
Is she? I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Like me personally. Oh yeah. Then yeah. I
Yeah,
would say yes.
she's that sort of
Sultry.
smoldering, sultry, you know, femme fatale type.
The opposite of Arabelle.
Yeah. Well. Well, this is going to be even more entertaining than I thought. I get to see my brother again. And I get to see this woman. I wonder if she's got a sister.
Eek. I have not heard her mention anything about her family, and I have known Viessa for a long time.
Well, we'll see what I can find out. I'm certain that once he goes to reacquaint himself with the rest of the tribe, that there will be opportunity for she and I to have a conversation.
I think your brother knows quite well not to leave you alone with his woman.
Also,
She would flay you.
Yeah, she would skin you alive.
Many have tried.
Ooh. Yeah.
I am not going to go any further with this. I do not want you to get
No.
too hurt. Just know that I admire both of you, and I would hate to have to clean up the mess afterwards.
Well, I was more anticipating verbal fencing, not anything physical.
Okay.
At least not on the first day.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And I look at him and it'll be fine.
One way or another.
Right. Okay. It'll be fine.
Well, this is going to be such fun.
I'm gonna have another drink.
Mother Tassa's just looking at him with this look that says, behave, you're not too old for me to discipline.
Right.
And he finally notices and just kind of like,
You're never too old to be mothered.
apparently not. All right. I'll be on my best behavior. Boring as that will be. Well, all in all, I would say, and he looks right at Zorith, your man Oloric did a very nice job. This, apart from the Jogravanans, of course, went off without a hitch.
Yes, he is very capable. Not my man, but very capable.
I think he might be more yours than you know. But I suppose that's between you and him. Let's just say the few times that your name has come up, there's a noticeable change in his demeanor. I've been at this long enough to recognize when someone is fairly besotted with someone else.
Thank
Are
you.
you trying to play matchmaker?
No,
Good to know.
I don't need to. I heard about the evening at the Lavender Heart.
Oh. Word
Wow.
travels fast.
Yeah,
Well,
apparently.
your friend Sar is a bit of a gossip.
Ah,
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
Letting Glory and Oloric have the space they need to move at the pace that's good for them.
Of course. That's why I said I'm not matchmaking. It's nothing that needs my attention. He seems happy. So, whatever it is that the two of you have seems to sit well with him.
Good to know.
And that's one thing I've learned visiting so many towns and so many women. And a few men. That you need never define something for it to be wonderful. If it is, it simply is.
well said.
Yes.
All right. So,
Dancing? Merriment?
You may dance if you wish. I'm much more interested in the stories. We've been in camp for months, and apparently there have been fairly momentous happenings that we have heard scant little about.
We have all kinds of stories.
Yes, what do you want to hear first?
Probably the dawn is the most recent.
That was the first thing I was going to inquire about.
Ah, yes.
It was easy.
I have the basics of what happened. I'm more curious. Is this someplace that we could now go?
I believe so.
I think so.
That's
Tasha
the-
was there this week and things are moving in the right direction. I think they're looking for vendors, visitors to come to town. So
That's the goal, is to have people come and go.
If you mention my name, my Aunt Lena will be more inclined.
I shall remember that. Thank you.
No problem.
So there's a lady in charge of the the dawn, excuse me. The dawn.
Yes.
Is she single?
I have no idea, but she's my great aunt.
And is she great?
pretty great.
Well, I think so.
Well, I look forward to meeting her.
Whew.
One can never have too many friends.
Very true.
So bad.
Well, since you're our resident storyteller, Tasha, I'll leave you to it. I think I'm going to go dance. Why
All
not?
right.
It's a celebration after all.
Enjoy yourself. And
I intend
raise
to.
a glass.
All right. Well, as Gwen goes off to dance and the table sits down to tell stories and the hour grows later, that's where we're going to take our break.
Good.
So we'll finish up the day of the festival and tackle the day after when we come back. So we'll see you in 15. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back. So, about an hour has gone by. Gwen is thoroughly tired now, as she's been dancing for about an hour straight. At one point, Zek actually came out to join in.
Nice.
He's not very good at it,
But
he's exceptionally enthusiastic.
That's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
And stories were told at the table, and everybody's sort of caught up on what everybody's been doing. Urmon's stories are the shortest because they haven't really gone anywhere. He does tell you, however, that he does beckon someone over and invite her to sit and join you all. He introduces her as Amena, and you recognize her as the woman who was carrying Zek at the festival. And she just kind of smiles and nods her head. Urmon explains that she's kind of appointed herself as Zek's watcher while he's with them.
Okay.
And he says, at the risk of embarrassing you, Amena does not speak. And I would guess that Zek finds that comforting. He doesn't seem to speak much either. And Amena just kind of smiles and nods her head.
Well, thank you for watching out for Zek.
That's all. You can go back to your charge. And she grins and gets up and goes walking over to where Zek is kind of plopped down on the ground drinking something. And she just kind of walks over and settles herself down on the ground beside him. And
Speaking of, Zek is free to go with you, and I can come get him at any time if you end up in Sandy Cove or a place that I've been before. I can pick him up and take him home at any time.
well, there hasn't actually been any discussion of whether he wishes to stay with us or stay here, but I'll let him know. I'm sure that discussion is going to come up eventually, because we will be heading out on our first trip around the nation in a couple days.
Right, well, like I said, if you're in a place I've been before, which is quite a few of the main cities, and question would I know if they're in their normal camp area, it's magically protected, or is it just, would I be able to teleport in there anyway?
You don't know.
Okay. And then I
But
say that
they're
too.
not going back to camp. They're actually leaving to
Right.
go
Around.
to go wander. We'll be heading from here up through the Everwood to Romani, and then Greenboro, and then we'll be stopping in to see the new Strathsamen's dawn.
Brilliant.
And then we'll make our way around to Kilcross, and then probably down to Aermagh, and see where we go from there.
Greenboro, the only one we haven't really been to yet?
Yes.
And Belinasmard. And you haven't actually been down to Fort Grimspine yet either, or the Citadel.
There's a few places we haven't been, but we've been to quite a few.
Yeah. Well, you've had no reason to go to the fort. You've had no reason to go to the citadel.
Right, exactly.
You know someone from Greenboro, so
Right, that's where Vines is from.
yes.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe this trip will be the trip. And he kind of looks at Mother Tassa, and she just goes, "Always hopeful, aren't you?"
What trip?
The trip?
Oh, when we actually see the druids.
Oh, I see.
We've been round that bend, past their woods, hundreds of times. Never seen one.
That means they don't want to be seen.
Yes, and we don't go looking for them. We respect their privacy. That, and they could probably turn us all into toadstools.
We
So what?
disguised ourselves as druids to get into Straussmith.
We did, yeah.
And Mother Toss is sitting with us still, right?
Yes, and Gaygo.
Perhaps this is a good time to ask. We've managed some pretty large adventures recently, and one of the main things that is kind of on everybody's mind is fighting against the Chromatics. We're little, but is there anything that we can do to help?
We are a sept now. We're probably honor bound to help.
Were you a larger sept? Yes. But any sept that is at just 4 members, their responsibility would be to, I don't want to embarrass you, but to breed.
Stay alive? Oh, wait, what?
To breed and to expand the sept.
Well, we've typically been the 4+, so we do
That's not
have
the kind of
allies,
plus.
that honorary members of the sept.
Understand there will be many rules that will not specifically apply to the Mithril Sept. That would
I
be
think the
one of
Mithril
them.
Sept is going to die out with us.
Oh, come now.
Unless we're able to adopt additional members
Ooh,
to
Yeah,
our sept.
That is something we should talk about. How is it just a sept of 4 and we?
Can we expand our sept in any way other than breeding?
Please.
If this is something that we will discuss in conclave, so I cannot speak authoritatively, but
Fair.
I will propose that, given the biological realities of the Mithril Sept, that it be understood that expanding your particular sept would include adding additional members to your
Yes.
adventuring group,
Passing it down.
passing it down. If you find children or young people who are in need of a family structure and you can provide that, then they would, of course, be considered part of the sept as well.
I wonder if your siblings, Tasha, would be.
I have 3 half-siblings, one of which is going to end up being a bard.
Are you their primary caretaker?
No, but I will be
They're a little young.
training them. They have a mother, and they have my Aunt Lena, or our Aunt Lena. but their mother is lacking some training. She's a very nice woman, and she clearly loves all 3 of those children, and she's treating them well. I have no complaints.
That is good.
But there are many things that she does not know. She never got any schooling. She sadly had her first child, I think,
When she was a child.
when she was a child. And she's younger than me, and she has 3 children.
And they were not by her choice.
Then perhaps one or more of them could be considered a member of the Sept once they are grown and can choose to join you.
They would choose for themselves. But I love the idea of starting something like an orphanage where we could train children to
Be assassins.
become warriors. Not necessarily assassins, but
I mean,
That escalated
great.
quickly.
Urmon just kind of goes,
where they could learn skills.
Prepare them to go to the sanctum or the tower or the citadel or
wherever their talents lie. But
I like that.
But giving them the chance to actually grow and learn those talents and feel safe. Because I know there are a lot of children out there that have no one.
Are there any other rules that we should know?
I wonder if that might be a good place, something to do in the dawn, Tasha. There's got to be children there that lost their parents or don't know.
Yeah, there should be a school for sure.
Maybe
None
we'll
of those
be
children are getting learning.
patrons.
Gaygo has been looking kind of thoughtful and says, from what I have heard from Remedy, there are going to be children who have lost one or both parents in Aermagh because of the hostilities there. Perhaps they could be allowed to change locales and be considered for membership in this training school.
Interesting. Something we'll have to think about. I mean,
I am certain that this is a need that you could well address.
And then she kind of looks up and looks at Urmon, and Urmon just kind of goes, and once again, I think we're on the same page, Mother.
Yes.
As we travel to all these cities, if we spot a child in need, we could alert you.
we have nothing in the way of organization, anything right now that
It
we're...
sounds like maybe we need to move on that quickly then.
Yeah.
Where should we house this? Do you think in the dawn?
I need to go talk to my aunt. But there are plenty of buildings.
Yeah. How far is the dawn from... Never mind, I'll look it up on the other map. Because it's kind of remote. It would take a lot to get kids there.
It is.
But it's also a little further out from where the dragons have been attacking.
So they would be safer there.
Maybe.
And it's close to the sanctum.
Sanctum, yeah.
And the temple will be being built.
That's true.
I wonder, because it would be a home, right? I mean, a school, but also a place to live. I'm talking about selling the house in Aermagh. I don't know how connected they are, but I could talk to my neighbors about going and
Selling what
Your-
house?
my house.
You're thinking of selling your house?
Well, we have a home here. If we're in Aermagh, we can stay with you. There's not really a need for that house.
But maybe Fiona and Rathgar would go and kind of be, I don't know, dorm parents.
Caretakers?
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a good idea.
How old are the neighbors?
Not that old.
You're that old.
Okay. I mean, this is definitely something we're gonna have to talk about. This is literally the only thing that wasn't on the list.
And
Right?
yet it's better than trying to figure out how to expand our sept by breeding.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So
100%.
I'm all on board with figuring out an alternative.
Yes. What?
I was just thinking. It's okay. Keep going.
I love the idea of starting a school that's an orphanage.
I do too. I mean,
There are plenty of children that have no one.
four of us.
Yeah, four of us.
Four of us,
We're orphans.
myself, Aermagh, Gwen, and Tasha. We're all
Orphans.
orphans.
Well, and it might be worthwhile to mention it to, I hate to say this, Lord Tremane, because perhaps if there were an alternative to the existing structure in Thunder's Edge for raising these children, then the system that led me to be in his servitude would no longer be necessary.
Correct.
I like that too.
Well,
As do I.
Yes?
all right, fine. Let me play devil's advocate for a moment.
All right.
What if someone who has both parents wants to attend your academy?
They're allowed. This is not exclusionary, but it is a place where children who have nowhere else to go can go. And once we get it up and running, and there's training for all of these different children, then a child who wants to get that training can also participate.
And how much will you charge their parents?
Nothing. We should be able to fund this.
These questions all to be deemed at a later time.
Well, maybe we can find a way to encourage through diplomacy in our ambassadorial roles, the leaders of each of the major areas of Aecathan to provide funding. After all, if these orphans were
On the
left,
streets.
yeah, then they would be paying in one way or another for these individuals. So perhaps a tithe to the school per annum would allow us an income without depleting our hoard.
Therefore, we wouldn't charge the parents.
Right.
And we can talk to my mom about trying to guilt some of the nobles into paying.
Something that you might consider, if that is the route that you wish to take, if you have sufficient funding, then I would suggest, in order to allay what will no doubt be the assumption that only those no one else wants attend your school, if you have sufficient funds for those you do not select yourselves, there should be a rigorous application process.
I agree.
You will choose who receives the scholarships necessary to attend. That gives you control over who you admit, and it gives the perception of being a worthwhile, sought-after training.
Exclusive.
Oh, and we're only going to have so many beds, so.
Correct.
I like it.
I like it too.
And trainers. One thing we can definitely talk to Obras and see if there are any seniors or students that are just graduating that might want to come train or teach for a year or something until they figure out what they want to do, or you know, volunteer
Same
their
thing is
times.
true for people just leaving the sanctum.
And you could even contact the Citadel and see if they would send someone, or several someones.
And because I have military contacts, anyone who's leaving the military could possibly come and train. Because they're going to need fighting skills as well.
That would certainly be something that some of the veterans of the battles with the dragons, that would definitely be something appropriate for them to do after their service is no longer required.
Exactly.
Oh.
This is in a surprisingly deep conversation for people who are celebrating, but it also seems strangely appropriate.
Could we call it Zek's house? I don't know.
That's a cool idea.
Well, I'm certain that you could, but does it really fit?
No, maybe not.
I was thinking the Mithril Academy or something.
Yes.
That's
Mithril
actually
Academy.
when I actually went, that's actually what I thought.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
I wrote it down too, and then I was like, no, just keep talking.
Oh, the Mithril Academy is perfect.
It is.
But maybe one of the dorms or something, Zori, we could name Zek's house.
There you go.
I like that.
Because we're going to
Maybe-
need a couple of buildings.
And
A potion, an apothecary.
Potions building, yes. Or maybe a center of healing. That might work too.
Oh yeah.
If it's large enough, you could call it Zach Hall.
Oh.
So eventually, we will have a dorm for people who may go into the military. We will have a dorm for healers, or
Maybe not.
possible,
Learning communities, even.
yeah, learning communities.
I would say one big dorm, not dorms.
Okay.
Only because they don't know what they're going to do yet.
Right.
When you send students away to the towers or to the sanctum, they're with those people because they're constantly learning things that they're going to need for that specific thing. And these kids will need to be integrated within each other and hopefully know all of the factions.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say prerequisites, but
Well, I mean, This is
Not
yeah.
everyone will go on to one of those places either, but
Right.
they can learn to cook or make, a craft. We could arrange apprenticeships with some of the artisans in Strafsman.
Traditionally, when our septlings are born, once they reach sufficient maturity, we expose them to all of the different specialties from all of the septs. And when we see a desire or an inclination, then we apprentice them.
Okay. I like
It works well for us.
something like that. But I want this to be something that is. I want these students to be sought out by all of the major groups. I want them to be sought out by the Sanctum. I want them to be sought out by the military. I want them to be sought out by the Citadel. I want everyone to consider this a place to find good students.
The best.
Yeah, the best of the best.
So we need to start hiring some instructors.
Yes. Well, first we need to get a building.
This is something that is quickly rolling into a big ball of we need to figure some other things out, not at a campfire.
And when the rest of you are sober.
Oh, poo.
I'm sober. I only had that one sip of
Oh, okay.
whatever that
I'm
was.
only on my 4th drink. It's fine.
Well, we need to find an appropriate locale in the dawn. We need to stop by Aermagh, so I guess we know what we're doing next.
Tremane should probably be our first since we're here.
Ugh.
Well,
But
it's
think
gotta
of
be
all the
dealt
lovely
with.
things that we get to tell him.
That's
I would
true.
not lead with, by the way, call me lady.
It's going to be hard to avoid that.
Yeah.
In that I will have to be introduced in some way.
And you
Will
are
you?
the Countess.
Like,
Viscountess.
It would be inappropriate to allow him to go forward without knowing that. That would be
Boy.
inappropriate.
I suppose.
but I think the how you tell him is still be right.
That's
or
true.
should you tell him, or should one of us share?
Oh, it has to be me.
I mean, while you're there, but
You do see, sitting at the next table with everybody else, that Aralahkis is over there.
So he can introduce you. He likes to get one.
I
But
wave him over.
He did say he wanted to be there for it, remember?
He is very animatedly talking to Cara and does not even notice.
Cara?
Hugh and Sar's
Baker.
niece.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
We can talk to Aralahkis tomorrow after, or the day after. We have company tomorrow. Sure, Aralahkis will help us, Gwen.
Okay. I have to be able to at least rub it in a little. I mean, I won't be obnoxious about it, but after everything, he at least owes me that much.
I'm sure he would say he owes you nothing.
I think he owes much to many.
I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm saying he won't think so.
I will be perfectly civil.
Alrighty.
Urmon just kind of, ooh.
Civil like I was to my grandpa?
That would be a different kind of civility.
We're not killing Lord Tremane.
No, that would only put Athgar in the seat a little faster, wouldn't it? I mean, he who should not be named.
Oh, sorry.
And I don't really want any of us to go to jail, or I think in the Edge they'd probably execute us. I don't think that's on our list.
I'm not serious. I'm kidding. This is my kidding face.
I'm sorry, I'm just contemplating what Thunder's Edge would be like without him.
Well, we all contemplate that on occasion, don't we?
Occasion?
Doesn't look
Okay. Well,
He's looked better. I'll tell you, I'll give you that.
I hate to break it to you, but the fact that Askar left.
well. I know why he doesn't, but he does not look well.
And he won't until he has Askar back. And my hope is that when Askar finally comes back,
Keep saying that name.
I'm sorry, but there's an elephant and I'm drunk and I don't care about it. So
Urmon reaches over and just kind of pats your hand and, it'll be okay.
my hope is when he returns.
Oh, who? You mean Athgar?
Yes, him.
Are you serious?
He's just as bad at kneeling as I am, my lord. So anyway.
Did I mention that I don't bother counting anymore?
You don't bother counting what?
How much I've
drunk
had
as
to drink.
Anyway,
my hope is that when he returns, that Tremane has a new respect for him and realizes that not having him around is not something that he wants to do again.
I think
That would be nice.
a big portion of Tremane's actions towards his son were out of fear.
Oh, absolutely.
That doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't.
But it is understandable, but it's not okay.
I mean, everyone says that he's different from before.
Well, the
From
love of your
before
life,
what? Before whatever's shoved up his ass got stuck there?
Or his
his
wife,
wife
was
died.
Oh. Did I know that?
Would it have mattered?
Oh. Maybe? No, you did not know that, Urmon. You never cared to hear about the tragedies. Well, of course not. They're so depressing.
So true.
He was different when he was younger. It was, you are correct, right around the time that his wife succumbed, that he became
A giant jerk?
afeared and embittered.
Brittle.
To a certain extent, yes. Well, he must make his own choices, I suppose, as must we all.
Yeah, but the problem is that I make choices and we go east instead of northwest. He makes choices and this entire city has to cope with whatever that decision is.
And the people in it.
And that's what I mean.
Well, so
Well,
when do you talk to him?
we'll get Aralahkis to talk to him, get us in to talk to him tomorrow. Once Aralahkis is done.
Sobering up.
No, being in great conversation over there.
On the other hand, there's always those. And you see he's just kind of put his head back and he's looking up at the stars and I didn't say anything for a couple minutes. And then even though his eyes are still open, you hear a soft...
Someone is extremely intoxicated.
A little bit.
Might be a signal that the party's over.
No.
Afraid so.
Well, it certainly is for him.
Indeed.
Amena, dear, would you grab a couple of your fellows and help Urmon to bed, please?
She leans over and just kind of touches her forehead to Zach and then gets up and grabs a couple of the people helping stow away the remaining food, and they go and grab Urmon and hoist him up on their shoulders and just sort of carry him off.
Not the first time.
No. No.
Well, I guess that answers that question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was there another question you wish to ask him?
Nope.
Not really a question.
Very
More
well.
just figuring out what his plans for the evening were. But it's now clear what his plans for the evening are.
He
And
will
then
not
passing out.
have any plans for the rest of the evening.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Have we discussed all the things we need to discuss with Mother Tassa?
Well, I mean, I guess that means we go after the Jogravanans.
Well, we'll talk to Tremane, and that'll be our main.
I think
Our
we should
main-
talk to Aralahkis too, right?
Well, we're gonna talk to Aralahkis and have him get
We're
us.
gonna go talk to Tremane.
Yeah, but then talking to Tremane will give us a direction in where to go for the orphanage, where to go with the Jogravanans to see if they've found. I mean, we haven't checked in to see if they've had any incursions lately down here, down there.
Today was a rare occasion, or if it's been happening.
Yeah. So
It hasn't been that long since the last attack, right? The big thing on the city.
I mean, we really haven't been traveling. We have been doing something every single day, and it hasn't been that long since we picked up Gwen. And that was the last time that there was, scary attacks on the city. And
Since
How
we
long
had
has it
Gwen.
been since we had Gwen?
what?
How long has it been since we saved Gwen? And Aralahkis, for that matter.
It's not been long. And the amount of things that we've done, there's been a lot. In actual, if you think about it, 3 months or less, because
Before we went to get the dragons, right? Wasn't that the first thing we did with Gwen?
right. So it's been less than 3 months, because 3 months is how long it's been to have our house set up.
It's true.
With the circle.
Well, that was
And-
before Gwen.
I
Well,
know.
I can tell you real time how long it's been.
It's been a long time.
It's been a year.
Well, no, but I mean, like,
Game
And
time.
Well-
it has not been very long.
that's what we're trying to figure
I mean,
out.
we haven't even, the four hasn't even,
We have-
Arabelle and Zori haven't been together a year.
No. I'm just saying in general, I know it's been less than 3 months because our thing was just given to us. And a significant amount of that time, a month, was we didn't have Gwen. Maybe even less than that. I don't know. But
'Cause
it's not been very long.
So,
But sorry, not meaning to get us all caught up in that. You can tell us later.
we'll see Tremane, but we're gonna enjoy our friends and have a day before we get into a fight. So Zori, in the morning, because of the time difference, so in the morning you can go get Jojo and Viessa.
Yes, is there a specific time with which I'm supposed to get them?
We just told him morning.
For breakfast, it will be. And then I ask Mother Tassa about what time do you eat? You know, how many hours after sunup or whatever.
Oh, the various members, especially after an evening's festivity, will be rising at many different times in the morning, so there will be food prepared for those who rise with the sun and those who do not rise until the sun is at its zenith.
Okay. So then I
can
pick it.
go with you, or you can go, I guess, by yourself. But
Oh, you can come with me.
say I get up at sunrise, and then after my prayers, I could go with you if you want, or you can go.
Sure, that'd be great.
I'm sure Jojo will want to sleep in after what
Oh,
the pirate looked like when I went. It was the biggest crowd I've ever seen there.
Oh wow. Oh good. I'm glad. Decent.
Yeah. I'm guessing from looking at my notes that it's probably been somewhere between a month and a half and 2 months since Gwen joined you.
It's literally not that long.
that's insane.
Well, remember, when you rescued the dragons,
yes.
you decided that the festival would be a month out.
Right.
Oh.
And
Really?
so you've got basically a week or 2 weeks-ish prior to that was when you went with Athgar and rescued Gwen and Aralahkis' spirit in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably looking at 6 or 7 weeks.
Yep, that's what I thought.
That
And
hurts my head.
It only took about a year real time to do those 6 or 7 weeks.
No, no problem.
So,
We've just been busy.
yes. So you see that the party is definitely starting to break up. At some point, both Hugh and Sar left. There is now a lively 4-way conversation going on between Aralahkis, Cara, Wiggy, and Oloric. But
I
this
go to see that
okay.
because that's ridiculous.
As it turns out, they are all deep in discussion about how best to decorate the Lavender Heart.
Oh.
And what does Cara think?
She's mostly listening to Wiggy, and she keeps asking questions about, well, what if I wanted to do this, or what if we were to substitute this for that? And Oloric is talking, sort of offering advice as someone who has created a space. And Aralahkis is offering advice as somebody who likes to eat. So his advice is not all that helpful.
Yeah.
But you come walking over, and Wiggy looks up and says, "Oh, look, there's one of the guests now. Finally decided to step down to the other table, huh? Nice."
You're welcome.
Yeah, slumming. We love it.
Slummin'.
Well, you know, we were just learning how to be a sept and stuff.
You know something, Wiggy? You must have balls on you the size of coconuts. You don't lip off to this one. She's in the army, for crying out loud. She's a captain. She's got a weapon, she knows how to use it. She sings nasty spells. And you want to lip off? Sweet, I'll toast at your funeral.
But worse, I could write a song about ya.
Oh, hey, that would be fantastic.
Would it?
Oh, wait.
How would you like to be infamous?
I managed to get out from under Viessa without being infamous.
I don't think you could survive a bard and be without being infamous.
Who literally just had a song go nationwide.
She's kind of a big deal.
I see you brought backup.
Just telling you the truth.
Arabelle stayed at the table with Mother Tassa.
Wigilliam, she does make a good point. And I wouldn't put it past her. She's crafty. Okay,
Please,
so
do go on.
gee, it's so nice that you could stop by the table. I've been missing you.
That's what I thought. I sit down.
Aralahkis is just laughing, and you get the idea that he may actually be a little in his cups at this point.
I'm sure he is. Yeah,
But
that's good.
he's a dwarf, so it takes a lot.
Yeah. So I turn to Aralahkis and I say, so, do you think we could get an audience with Tremane tomorrow?
Probably.
Alright.
He did tell me to tell you all that he wanted to talk to you, so probably.
Well, that works out.
At least I think he did. Yeah, that was today. Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Yep.
How often have the Jogravanans been showing up around here?
You mean, like, overall?
Recently.
Recently.
Well, a bunch of their dumbasses showed up today.
Yeah, I saw that. That was stupid.
That's pretty. I'm gonna suggest to Tremane that we just leave them right there. And
I
build
agree.
a little bench around them. Our own uniquely Thunder's Edgean way to commemorate the Dragon Festival.
I like it. It has a certain amount of flair.
You know,
Yeah.
now that you mention it, this is the first time that I know of, anyway, that they've tried something in
Months.
over a month.
Over a month.
Oh yeah, we did kill what's her name.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You got the tiefling. No offense, dude.
None taken.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
part of No, he was there with us.
Yeah, you were there.
I was. I mean, yeah, I was. Yeah, I remember.
Very confused.
But I mean, that was the last time well, other than today, that was the last time we dealt with a Jogravanans.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, it's almost like... I don't like that.
What?
It's almost like their attention's focused somewhere else.
Where else could it be?
I don't know. That's why I said I don't like that.
I mean, is there anywhere that has sent up an alarm or that's gone suddenly quiet?
No. That's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
they've been hanging out with the Chromatics.
Oh. I hope not.
Well,
I haven't heard anything or seen anything to make me think they are.
Okay.
We haven't seen a chromatic dragon here yet.
One showed up in Aermagh today.
Aecathan.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Aermagh.
Yeah,
Aermagh.
Aermagh.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Dumbass.
That didn't work out well.
Yeah, I imagine not. But yeah, no, I'm apart from.
And he just looks over at Gaygo and just he says, apart from, and then
Gaygo?
just kind of stares.
You okay?
Oh, better than
What?
okay.
That's all right. I'm going to talk to you about this tomorrow.
That's probably a good idea. Oh, by the way, Tremane wants to see you guys.
Okay.
Wow.
You think you might be available tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay. Good. Remind me about this tomorrow.
I'm gonna.
I think it's going to be necessary.
I think
Also,
so too.
I'm gonna pick on you just a little bit.
Well, since I just told Wiggy not to give you lip about that sort of stuff, okay.
Oloric stands up. Aralahkis, why don't you come with me?
Why?
I wouldn't mind an escort back to the Wrath.
Oh. Yeah, I can do that.
And if we happen to perhaps swing by the keep first, would that be all right?
Sure. Yeah, that won't be a problem. We'll kind of cut right past it, really.
That was my thought as well. He kind of walks over to Zorith and just slips an arm around your waist and leans in to sort of touch your
Hug.
forehead with his
Ah.
and just says, I assume I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Good. Sleep
Have a good
well.
night.
I'm going to make certain that he gets back to his apartment safely.
Thanks. We'll see ya.
Ah, quit your canoodling. Are we going or what?
Absolutely.
So tactful.
All right. Well, night, everybody.
Good night.
As he walks by me. Hold on one second. Let me see here.
Uh-oh. Okay.
What are you gonna do? Give him a hot foot or something?
That is not what I thought you were going to say. Okay.
I can make a color, a small mark, or a symbol appear on an object or a surface for 1 hour. He's gonna have a bright green face.
Who is?
Aralahkis.
Oh. Okay.
And you see Oloric is sort of walking behind him, so he doesn't see it. He rolled a 6 for perception, so But as they're walking out of the camp, you see all of the Sasaran that they pass kind of stop what they're doing and turn and look at him, and he's just like, "Good night, everybody. Good night."
It'll be there for an hour, that's all.
Oh boy.
Canoodling.
Wow, that was interesting.
Jurian had to leave.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for being our friend.
Hey, no problem. I mean, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be an upstanding, respectable local businessman now.
I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah, me too. I would have had no idea that this would make me feel so fulfilled. It's really weird.
It's really awesome.
But, I don't know. People seem to like what I'm doing.
Well, they're valuing your opinion. They're asking for help. I mean, you're going to be helping Cara.
He already has.
Is it
What?
Cara or Cara?
It's Cara, I think.
Cara. Okay.
He already has. I mean, you and Oloric saw everything that we had done when you came for dinner. That was Wigilium.
It was very nice.
Thanks.
Was he able to find you a frame for my...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's hanging right in the front window.
Oh, good.
It's already gotten some attention, too. It's like one person stopped to read it, and then all of a sudden, there was this sort of steady stream of people coming by reading it. I guess word of mouth.
And I'm not sure if I told everybody when that happened, but I tell them what I did. And so...
That was so nice.
It was one of the nicest things I've ever seen.
Well, I mean... We're kind of a big deal. And so to get that noticed, for her is good.
Yeah.
Gosh, we have so much to do.
Really? So you guys have figured out what you're going to do next, then?
Would you believe an orphanage, maybe?
A what-inage?
There's
a home and school for kids who don't have parents. And some kids who do have parents, but really want to come to our school.
I still don't know about that.
Wow.
No, I think it's a good idea.
That's a great idea. I wish there would have been something like that when I was a kid.
Same.
Same.
I can't decide if that was mean.
What? If what was you?
No, if that was mean.
If
No,
what
no,
was
no,
mean?
No. Serious. No, we also wanted places like that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're all orphans except Arabelle. So we
Well,
could have all used some different School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
technically I had a father, but...
Yeah, I heard about that. And, now he's fertilizer. So, well done with that.
Thanks.
You see, Cara's kind of like...
It's a really long story. He
He
can
was a very bad man.
fill you in later.
All right. I think I should probably be going. But, Wigilium, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. And, I'll have those new fabrics for you to look at. And, just, keep in mind, we can get them dyed whatever color you want. So, mostly you're looking at the texture and touch. Aye, that's what you said. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you in the morning. It was nice to see you again, and it was nice to meet you, the other three.
Sleep well.
And she walks off, and you see her walk by and wave at Zach, who's sitting on the ground with a glass of something in his hand, and he just kind of looks up and...
Ugh, our little kobold. So
He's
now it
growing
is
up.
just Wiggy.
Yeah, so, how hard was it to take down Gaeghointulth?
Oh, I mean, it took a little bit.
And
There were 8 of us, and we needed 8.
I
Yeah.
understand that you got Park, too.
Yes.
That must have felt great.
It kind of did.
Yes.
Long overdue.
Yeah. If there was anyone who absolutely deserved to die, it was that bitch.
Well, my father also. And my grandfather. Yeah. Mhm.
Well, I'll take your word for it on that one, because, I never met either of them. But her I know about.
Yeah. Well,
She
everything
even
you've ever heard about Strathman's End is pretty much true.
in the last moments, she feigned surrender. She could have surrendered potentially, but she was not disarmed yet, so
I wouldn't have believed her anyway.
nor did we.
Everything come out of that mouth was a lie. Why would that be any different?
I don't know.
Well, I suppose I should probably take off too. I gotta make sure that I wake up in time to go meet with Cara, so... But after the meeting, I'm gonna come back here. I was told that there'd be food, and I should come back and join in for breakfast.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll be back at some point.
Excellent. We'll be
We
here.
look forward to it.
It's good to see all 4 of you, but especially you, Tasha, and I mean it. And he just kind of grins and heads out.
We head back over to Arabelle and Mother Tassa if they were having a conversation without us.
What were you doing at the table while they were having these conversations, Arabelle?
I just chit-chatting with her, talking about, because Gaygo's over there too, right? If they were going to stay here for the night or how they're...
Gaygo said that she would be going home because it's not a long flight for her. And she would sleep in her own den, but she would be back in the morning. Mother Tassa says that she's planning on sleeping in her wagon. They still bring her wagon with them wherever they go.
Oh,
That'll be lovely.
yeah.
It will be a pleasant memory. But I'm sure that you have things to do.
Oh, it's been a long day. A little bit longer of a day since we started.
Yes.
A full day before we came here. Assume everyone will
So much has happened.
be heading to bed soon.
Yes. Well, I will see you for breakfast in the morning. And I look forward to seeing how Urmon and Jojo behave towards each other.
Hope it's okay.
I don't think I'll have to step in. I'm just wondering how long it will be formal. before they relax.
Probably not very long. Urmon isn't super formal.
Well, he can be. He's a bit of a chameleon when it comes to that sort of thing. Whatever personality is appropriate for the situation is what he will don, like a cap.
Huh.
Well, it's a big step that Jojo's willing to come, right?
Indeed. He was under the assumption that he would not be welcome. And I believe that most of the tribe believed that I felt he should not be welcomed. So I do blame myself for this. It is not anything that I did or said, but I should have been more clear in how I actually felt. And I was not. So hopefully tomorrow will be the beginning of some much-needed healing for all involved.
I'm sure they will all follow yours and Urmon's lead.
Yes. Well, I plan on making it clear in no uncertain terms that I am happy to see him. Because I will be.
I suppose we should get to bed.
Fortunately, you have not far to go. And she just sort of looks across the field at your house.
That's true.
Very well. I will see you all in the morning.
Right, Mother Tassa.
Good night, Mother
Good
Tassa.
night.
And good night, all. I will see you in the morning as well. And she stands and just melts out into her dragon form as she rises into the air and just sort of flaps off into the night.
Gaygo?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Gaygo.
Still impressive.
I don't think
really
it will
cool.
ever not be impressive.
Oh,
Need to do some flying lessons while we're here, right?
I was just gonna say, what am I wearing? And then I can't remember I'm wearing my fancy stuff.
You are.
Yes.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Now,
Maybe.
put the table and head inside.
All right.
Yeah. I just had to think. It's just not the time nor the place.
Okay. So you head back in, and you get back into the house. Everything's like you left it. Do you do anything before you turn in?
Pass out. Well, take off my fancy clothes. And
Okay.
put them on a nice chair.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to Zek and just check on him and see how he's doing.
He's just kind of sitting there. He looks up.
I hope you had a really good day, Zek.
Met great one.
You did.
Best day.
I know. Sleep well. And I go to my room.
Okay. All right. Well, the night passes uneventfully. It would be very, very difficult for someone to sneak into your house at this point.
Right?
There's a field of people on all sides who would probably notice.
Yeah.
And dragon.
So you wake up the following morning. Once again, bright, clear. Already starting to get warm.
after she gets done with her.
Bright and early, we head out, right?
Yeah. We gotta go pick up Jojo.
Okay.
She'll. I don't know. She'll probably have to come get me.
Yeah, I'll as soon as I'm done praying. Figure Tasha will still be asleep because she likes to sleep in. We'll grab Zori and we'll head to Aermagh.
Okay.
Quick trip.
All right. Are you teleporting or teleportation circling?
What is today?
Monday.
Well, I mean,
We could just teleport to the pirate and then we could circle back here, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Gotta go into the keep.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just teleport straight to teleport into the inside
Okay.
by the front door though, like not.
Okay.
Oh, what time is it? It's super early. There wouldn't be anybody there.
It is 2 hours later.
Oh, but they know they're coming, so they should be closed.
Yeah.
Do you want to show up in the front or on the side? Let's go on the side and knock. We'll teleport into the alleyway.
Or you could go into the tunnel.
Yep. Okay. That's fine. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, alleyway? There's an alleyway?
Yeah. Pretty sure where Jojo died.
That was just around the back of the pirate.
Oh, well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But we'll go in the...
In the tunnel? Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. You appear in the tunnel, and it's pitch black for a moment. And then you hear... woof, woof, and 2 torches light.
Oh, okay.
Magically. Delicious.
Arabelle and Zorith. In case there's guards, they just kind of.
And we...
Make a perception check.
Oh.
Natural 20.
Oh, good thing you're paying attention. I won't even roll.
33.
You don't see anyone.
Okay.
Do we knock?
Well, now we're gonna go up to the storeroom, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There's probably not anybody in there.
No.
Basically, the ladder leads up to the root cellar
Right.
in the storeroom.
But it's
So-
still the basement of his house. And Viessa could be there. I mean, like, I don't want to... I want to give him...
Maybe up in his apartment if they're doing any. I don't think they do it on the counter or anything.
I mean...
I don't know. He
People
knows
are-
we're coming though.
People are...
Yes.
That is a good point. That is a good point. So I kind of like knock on the thing before I open it up, and I open it up.
Okay. It opens into the root cellar. The room above is dark.
Mm-hmm. I will do my dancing lights.
Okay.
And then I'll send them out into the other room before we get out there, and I'll say, knock, knock. Trying to make as much noise as I can.
Okay. And you hear a voice go, "I'm out here, dear."
So we go out there.
Oh. Ha. Didn't know it was you.
Do we have to avert our eyes?
No, he's dressed leaning on the counter.
Oh, I don't think I sound too much like Viessa, but okay.
Well, I was expecting her.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So
Is she late?
Well, she's not here yet.
late. She shows up when she wants. She takes off when she wants.
Okay.
But she did say that she was looking forward to going someplace warm. So I assume she'll
Oh.
be here shortly.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you get any rest?
A few hours.
How was the night?
Profitable.
Good.
Are
I'm
the
glad.
ladies running things this morning, or are you closed?
We're closed.
Everybody's sleeping it off.
There were only 2 ships in port, and they're both leaving this morning. So, seems
And
like
everybody
an adequate time.
Are you nervous?
He looks back like he's checking if she's shown up yet.
Terrified.
Well, Mother Tassa is there,
All right.
and intends to make it clear that she, for one, is thrilled to welcome you.
And Urmon knows you're coming, so
What did he say?
He wants to have some alone time with your lady.
Hey, what?
That surprises you, how?
He hasn't even seen her yet.
He said, "Is she pretty?" And we said yes, and he got that look he get.
Ugh.
We also
Well-
warned him that,
you're not there.
Yeah, you're not there. You're asleep still.
He's talking in her sleep.
Well,
You know.
I suppose if he tries anything, she can take care of herself.
I know
Definitely
what
can.
implied.
If who tries anything, dear.
I didn't tell you about me brother.
You have a brother. Really?
Hey, stop that.
You've got nothing to worry about. And if he tries anything, I'll just stab him.
Kind of what we told him.
You're not serious.
Well, I
I
won't stab him deeply.
I think the only thing he will try is to get under his brother's skin.
Oh, it's one of those relationships. Oh, good.
Urmon is charming
Aye,
and knows it.
that hasn't changed apparently.
He now has a bit more responsibility, so I won't say that. I mean, we haven't known him for very long, but there is a bit of a tiny bit of seriousness now, just a tiny bit, just because he's got a lot of things going on. But
Well, that'll be interesting. Never seen that in him.
Well, it has been quite some time since you've seen this brother, I'm assuming, since I've never heard of him until now.
Oh.
We actually haven't spoken to each other in years.
Well, there's a story there, clearly.
well, I would say that you guys could talk about it on the way there, but we're pretty much going to get there as soon as we get there. So
So we will teleport into a building attached to our home in the edge, and then the Susaran are camping on our property.
Wait. You have your own teleportation circle.
It was a gift from Lord Tremane.
Oh.
When he still liked us.
Well,
Sorry.
aren't we coming up in the world?
At Viessa, we're kind of a big deal, as Tasha likes to say.
Well, apparently some people agree with that assessment.
Well, I do.
I mean,
Kind of saved their town a couple times.
Aye, that'll do it.
And, you know, dragons and...
Aye. Oh, right. I'm just dead curious, if you don't mind me asking. Have you chosen a metal?
Mithril.
Ooh. So, what was the word?
Sept.
Sept. Mithril sept. I like it. Fits you.
All right, Jojo. It will all be okay.
Viessa gives him a look and he just says, I'm a little nervous. Don't be. If anyone does anything untoward, I'll stab them too.
Yeah, so that's not helping. No stabbing anyone at our house, okay?
Oh no, I'll wait till I get outside. That's where the rest of them are, right? And you see Jojo's just looking at her like he doesn't quite...
He doesn't know whether to take her seriously or not.
Mm-mm.
I'd take her seriously, Jojo. But there will be dragons there this morning, so maybe keeping the
Oh.
murder to a minimum.
Well, if you would, please point them out to me so that I do not accidentally attempt to stab one of them. That would be a very bad move.
Are you feeling well?
I'm fine. Are you still nervous?
I understand you're trying to help. Stop.
She just chuckles and says, well, and she slips her arm through his. We're ready when you are.
I get to a place where I can make my circle, and I make my circle, and
All right. As you are working on the circle, Arabelle, you feel something brush past your leg.
Hi, Synchron. Do you want to come to the party? Can we bring him, Jojo?
He can go wherever he damn well pleases.
I bend down, and if you want to come, let me hold you so we can travel. We're going to teleport.
And the cat jumps up into your arms.
oh my gosh.
I stand up and hold him.
And I look at Synchron and I go, I'm betting you've already done this before, but hang on. And I finish the thing and we teleport opens.
All right. There is, again, the sense of an expansion of energy as you step into the white, and then it collapses, and you find yourselves standing in your teleportation chamber.
So I set Synchron down.
Oh, welcome to our house. Well, this part, the inside part.
Open the door to the living room.
Okay.
Welcome to our home. The
Thank
Fourhome.
you.
Really?
We didn't name it.
Oh,
Nope. We did not.
Be nice.
Have
Yeah,
you
so
ever?
we're friends now. We're supposed to, you know.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
And Jojo's
Oh.
just kind of like,
Come on.
Sure.
That should scare you more than anything else that's happened. Jojo.
I can't even process that right now.
Yeah. So we show up, and is anybody else in the house up?
And outside.
I don't know.
I'm up.
Gwen? Okay. And where
Yep.
in the house are you?
I've gone down to the kitchen area and I'm looking around to see what I can find.
Okay. Well, there's definitely going to be stuff to make tea and coffee. Everything else there will be like dried supplies.
They're making breakfast out in the camp, so don't forget that.
Okay.
You hear the door to the teleportation chamber open.
Sorry.
And you hear voices that you recognize.
Morning.
Hello. Hope you slept well.
I did. I think I am less hungover than some of our comrades.
Possibly. We also brought Syncrin.
Lord Syncrin, good morning.
And Syncrin jumps out of your arms and just kind of trots over like he owns the place, but proceeds to sort of wind around Gwen's legs a little. And then,
would you like anything, Lord Syncrin? It's only polite to offer food or drink to our guest.
He doesn't seem to be paying much attention to you. He wanders over to the door to the basement, and he's kind of sniffing at the flowers that are hanging from the door latch.
What the heck? I cast Speak with Animals. And say, that's usually where Zek hangs out. Would you like to...
It smells like kobold.
Zek is a kobold.
Should I dispatch it?
No, we actually consider Zek to be part of our household.
The
So
cat
please don't.
turns and looks at you.
He was here before me. It's not something... he's long been a part of the household before I was a part of before.
Is he a pet?
Sort of.
Acceptable.
Aermagh goes to find Tasha.
Would you like anything to eat or drink, Lord Syncrin?
I smell sustenance beyond the walls.
Yes. Outside there will be lots of different types of foods, and there may even be some cream.
That would be satisfactory.
Lead the way.
Actually, before I go get Tasha, I want to ask Jojo a question. Do you want your reunion out there with everyone, or do you want us to bring Urmon in the house?
I'll support you in whichever decision you choose. I'm gonna go out.
Okay.
Tasha, we're heading outside.
You're muted. As well as hungover.
Which should be about right.
What?
Breakfast. We're going outside to eat breakfast.
Is morning?
Yes.
It's still dark in my room.
Okay. We'll see you when you get up.
I head out and start looking for breakfast for myself and for Lord Syncrin.
The kitchen area is where it was the night before. The tables are where they were the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Urmon sitting at the head table like this. Cup of something that's steaming sitting in front of him.
Walk over.
I lean down by his ear and say, "Morning!"
Oh, God.
But I continue to go get breakfast.
So I know that the restoration works when they're drunk. Will it take care of the hangover?
Yeah.
Okay. I put my hand on his arm. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you like me to take care of that for you?
I have coffee.
I have faster.
Can you make it less bright?
I'll cast the spell.
Okay. And you see him kind of go.
See, this is why I had to jump in and surprise him while I could. I knew she was going to do this, and then what would I have been able to do?
Nothing.
Not a darn thing.
Well, good morning. Would you at all consider the possibility of joining the troops so you could do this for lots of people? This would be very helpful.
have to talk about my terms.
I'm all ears.
Looks back at the door.
And you see Jojo come walking out. He looks incredibly stiff. And Viessa has his arm and is just sort of gliding.
Be nice.
I had planned on it.
I know.
My God, he's gotten gray. And you weren't kidding about his...
She did already say that she'd stab you if you tried anything, so...
I shall balance that against the worth of the attempt. And he stands like he's getting ready to, you know, go do this, and you both see out of the crowd, Mother Tassa walks out and just walks up to Jojo and just puts her arms around him. And you see him just kind of standing there for a second, and then you see Viessa just whomp him on the shoulder. And he's like, oh. Good morning, Mother. Jojo. And she steps back and says, will you make introductions, son? Mother Tassa, this is Viessa of X. It is an honor to meet you. I've heard quite a bit about you. Not from him, of course, but from the Four. I have not heard much about you, I must say, but it is clear that Jojo has your affections, and you appear to have his best interests at heart. I'm pleased. Welcome, Viessa of X, to the camp of the Sasaran. Why don't you and I walk for a bit and get better acquainted? Jojo has someone he needs to speak to.
Hey, Jeff. I catch Viessa's eye and look at Mother Tassa, and then I point to my dragon pendant.
Let's see if she gets it. Wow. She just kind of goes,
I tried.
She rolled a 7.
I tried.
That is the 5th 7 I have rolled in a row on that die tonight.
Maybe you
You
should
need to
stop
put
using
it in dice jail.
Yeah, I don't know. It's usually such a
I,
good
I
die.
did what I was supposed to. I can't help.
But you see Jojo kind of square his shoulders and start walking toward Urmon. Urmon says, "Excuse me." And he walks out to meet Jojo.
Is everybody in the camp watching? That's awake.
Make a perception check.
Not bad. 28.
Not bad, she says. None of them are overtly looking, but you can tell from their body language and just the way they're holding themselves that even though their head isn't turned that direction, they are totally watching.
Okay.
They're just all trying to make it look like they're not paying attention at all. And you see them walk, and they stop about 2 feet apart. And you can see that they are speaking to each other, but they're both very stiff. And then after a few minutes go by, you see when the conversation shifts, because you see Urmon go from stiff to that sort of arrogant slouch that he likes to affect. And he says something and puts his hand out, and you see Jojo go. And both of their body languages gets a little bit more animated. And if you had to guess, the insult portion of the conversation has begun.
Good lord. Tasha wakes up.
Okay.
She throws on some clothes and braids back her hair and grabs a large glass of water and comes out to see what's what.
Okay. Make a perception check.
27.
You walk outside and you're kind of like, take another drink, and you're kind of looking around, and you see, well, really 3 things that catch your attention. You see Mother Tassa and Viessa walking arm in arm around the edge of the camp.
Ye gods. Okay.
You see Jojo and Urmon standing off kind of by themselves, having what looks to be a fairly animated conversation.
Boys.
And you see Arabelle standing up by the head table, watching Jojo and Urmon intently. Where are Gwen and Zori at this point?
I was getting a plate and looking for
Oh, right.
cream for Lord Synchron.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. Probably getting a plate.
Okay. All right. You do notice that lots of the people near the food seem inclined to lean down and pet Synchron.
Well, I still have Speaks with Animals up, so I whisper to him, "Are you okay with these people touching you?"
They prepare the food.
They do.
I will suffer their touch.
Understood. It's very noble of you to do so.
And you see a few of the people that are serving the food kind of look at you a little strange because you're meowing.
I speak cat.
They serve it up. They easily find you a bowl of cream.
I present it with a flourish. Lord Sincrin, your cream.
Is there a platform?
I look around and see if there's like a bench or...
Well, there's the head table.
I put it right at the head of the table,
Okay.
as befits his station.
And he nimbly leaps up onto the table and settles down and begins to very delicately drink the cream.
Is there anything else that you would like at this time, or are you satisfied with your serving?
The cream is tasty. The sun is warm. I am well.
Very good. I will go secure my own breakfast and come back here. If you're still here, perhaps we could break the fast together.
It doesn't say anything else.
I go over to Arabelle. And I put my arm around hers and I say, well, I'm not worried so much about Jojo. But Viessa and Mother Tassa? Ooh.
I tried to give her a warning because she wanted to know who the dragons were, but I don't know if she got it or not. It'll be okay.
All right. Have you eaten?
No, I was just gonna go get a plate.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
You see that Gwen has come over with cream for Synchron, and Synchron is now on the head table drinking his breakfast, and Gwen has just headed back to get food, you think. Zori is probably coming toward the table with her food at this point.
You brought Synchron. That's cool.
He wanted to come.
Well, there's Chow. He likes Chow.
He wanted to know where we were all going. One of these days, we're gonna have to figure out what Synchron is.
Yeah.
I sit down, or who he is.
Or who he was.
Yep.
My guess is a god of some sort, but I'm just gonna let it be.
You see
Maybe he's one of the Gemstone Dragons. That we heard.
You see Gaygo walking around the center area where the food is toward the table. She kind of stops and gives the cat a quizzical look and then sits down.
I return with my food and I'll join the collective.
Gaygo, this is our friend Synchron.
He prefers a Lord Synchron.
I was just going to say that, but yes, yeah. And Synchron, this is our friend Gaygo. Gaeghointulth.
Synchron doesn't show any sign that he's paying any attention. He's got the cream, and that seems to be his sole focus at the moment.
That's good.
And she just kind of goes, "That does not surprise me. Felines always put on pretensions."
Well, I suspect that Lord Synchron is not only a feline.
And what does that mean?
I think that there is more to his story. He's been recognized by some that we've traveled with before as being not exactly what he seems. There was an interesting interaction between him and the god of chaos.
Costas.
Yes. Who once taught me to swim, by the way.
I do recall.
I just like to remind people in case they've forgotten.
It is not the sort of thing one forgets.
He visited me recently in a dream.
This is our first news, right?
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
He basically gave me a hard time about you know who, that guy.
Oh. You know what, babe? It'll work itself out.
He basically told me to get over it, to find the humor, and to stop sulking. So I'm doing my best to do just that, I guess. I haven't really had a lot of luck so far, but I'm trying.
Well, good for you, and we're here for you no matter what.
I appreciate that. But it did remind me that, you know, he and Lord Synchron had a somewhat contentious first meeting.
You see Synchron pause in the drinking, and Gwen, you hear him say, "He is frivolous."
Yes. Lord Synchron reminds me that Zakuthos, aka Costas, is frivolous. Well, yes,
Well.
he is. He's the god of chaos, so frivolity is sort of part of his nature.
It is
More
unnecessary. And he goes back to drinking.
Unnecessary. Okay.
Gaygo,
Yes.
before you arrived last night, as part of the festival, a story was read about the before times with the dragons, and they mentioned Gemstone Dragons.
And you see her face immediately kind of take on a very solemn visage. Yes.
Did something happen to them like it happened to you?
I would have to say what happened to them was worse. We were imprisoned. You were able to release us. They were slaughtered.
All of them?
To our knowledge, yes. We could find no traces. It was an organized, concerted efforts by the Chromatics, and by the time we learned of it, it was too late. We could not interfere. It had already happened. We searched for months. We found no trace of them other than their bodies.
Do you know why they were targeted for eradication rather than imprisonment?
No. I have my own theories. I believe that they were slaughtered because they would not side with the Chromatics. It seemed irrelevant to the Chromatics that they also would not side with us. they saw their role as arbiter, but not to engage directly with or against either side. And so because they would not commit, they were removed.
Did you know some of them? I mean, personally?
I knew many of them. I counted several of them amongst my friends.
It's possible to bring them back, right?
If such a thing is possible, it is beyond our ken.
Well, they'd be... How long has it been?
Given the time that we were entombed, approximately 170 years.
They wouldn't have much time left, but there is powerful resurrection magic that can bring them back, even without a body.
Do you not need some sort of other connection?
I believe you just need their name and a lot of diamonds.
And therein lies the difficulty. I do not know their true names. I would address them by their concatenated name, as they would address me as Gaygo. But I believe for such magics to function, it requires their true names.
Probably.
Mother Tassa might know one.
Right, if you knew even one, then perhaps the cost would be worth it because they would have their own forts that maybe could fund the rest, or at least some of them coming back. But I don't know.
We can ask her, but I think if that were possible, she would have investigated that already.
I wish we could help them too.
As do I. I have not thought of that moment for some time.
Sorry for your loss.
I appreciate your intentions.
I can't fathom what you all have seen.
Well, it is always useful to remember that amidst the pain and horror, we have also seen great beauty and great wonder. Things that, even for us, were objects of marvel. And she just kind of drifts off, staring off into space. She's clearly sort of lost in memories.
Take the opportunity to glance over at the boys.
They're hugging. And the hugging quickly becomes wrestling. And they look pretty evenly matched.
Money, I glance. Is there any money being pulled out? Betting happening?
Make a perception check.
$30-20.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Here and there you see... counting out and handing stacks of copper and silver.
Wow. Beginnings of some kind of normalcy, at least for a little while.
Mm-hmm. And sitting at the other end of the table, Gwen and Zorith, if you would both make perception checks for me.
I don't even know why I roll. Perception?
Yes.
18.
Not bad.
29.
That's why.
Well, but you both look up and see that Mother Tassa and Viessa have sort of completed their trip around the camp and are walking back toward the head table, still arm in arm, and both of them are laughing.
Ooh, that's good.
And you see Mother Tassa sort of take her up to where the food is, and they both get a plate and come walking toward the table, and they're both still talking to each other.
Deep in conversation. Lovely.
Yeah. And they get to the table, and Mother Tassa gestures for Viessa to sit, and she sits and kind of looks over at Urmon and Jojo and just kind of goes, reaches into her pouch, pulls out 5 gold pieces, and hands them to Mother Tassa.
Ooh.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
I always respect a woman who respects a wager.
Oh, believe me, I do respect a wager. I just thought that I had that one. I thought it would take longer. And I know my boys. I knew it wouldn't take that long.
Yay.
And you see that Jojo has actually managed to wrestle Urmon to the ground.
Ooh.
And stands up and throws his hands in the air and then sticks his hand out and helps Urmon to his feet, and they kind of clap each other on the shoulder and they walk off toward the food. They are, at times, very entertaining. I am very much looking forward to meeting Urmon.
Well,
And you
Arabelle just sighs.
you see Mother Tassa look over and raise her eyebrows at Viessa, and Viessa says, "I won't hurt him.
Much.
Not physically, anyway."
right.
There's more
That's
than one
all
thing.
I'm concerned about.
Good. We do understand each other.
I'm actually curious. Viessa will maintain her composure around him.
And we'll find out next week.
Oh.
Typical.
Well, yeah.
We only
Always-
have so much time.
Always leave them wanting more.
Okay.
Yep. So, thank you all for watching. We do appreciate your attention. And we'll be back next week. We'll pick up right here and see what this very interesting breakfast brings about.
Yeah.
And find out what's next for the 4.
An orphanage, apparently.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, remember, stay safe, stay sane. Masks, still a good idea.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the temperatures are going up, but this time the COVID numbers are not going the opposite direction, at least not here in Michigan where we are. Lots of spikes happening in many counties across both peninsulas. So just remember the old adage, better safe than sorry, and make sure you stay safe. And make sure you
Thanks,
stay well.
everybody.
So we can welcome you back next week, once again, to the lands of Aecathan. Good night, everybody.